We're talking about monetizing your mission and purpose in a global climate of massive change. Because of that, you might be experiencing this. What worked for you in the past isn't working for you anymore. Who's experiencing that? Love it if you could put that in the chat box, yeah? Now that could be leaving you feeling frustrated, confused, or not clear on what to do and what direction to head in. And you're probably aware that the rules of the game are changing and the old way is becoming ineffective. Well, that trend is only going to continue in the next 5 years, because in the next 5 years, we're going to see more change than what we've seen in the past 20 years, particularly because of these next trends. 2017, just a few months away, folks. Well, this year marks the transition from a baby boomer focused market to a millennial focused market. And as millennials or Gen Y come fully into their prime spending years, baby boomers begin to retire and decline in their market influence. So this is the largest generation of our history coming into their full spending years. They have dramatically different values. You could even be one of them if you're 16 to 35, I think it is, or 36. So these millennials are going to dramatically change the market next year. Specifically, we're going to see those big changes happen. So because of this radical shift in values in the market, a radical new approach to building your business model is needed. And by the way, some of you might not have even thought about needing to have a model for your business. Now, you've already noticed how the old ways of doing things aren't working anymore. And now you know why, because values are shifting dramatically across the planet. The majority of the working population on the planet today are more concerned about people and the planet than just profit. Now, isn't that a relief to know, right? Isn't that awesome? We've all been really waiting for that, haven't we? But here's where I see people get stuck all the time. They get stuck in these 4 common problems when looking to get clarity of direction and purpose. By far, the biggest problem is you don't know what to look for or where to look to get the clarity. So people narrow purpose down to a job, business idea, or a statement, and it's none of those. So purpose is such a broad topic, it incorporates so many moving parts. Now, I also see people making the mistake of looking for the wrong thing and ending up more confused and frustrated, even completely lost. So if that's you and you're feeling almost desperate to know your purpose, it's precisely because it's how you're looking, or that you're not looking at all, that you lack the clarity. So you're more than likely thinking time is going to reveal it to you, and unfortunately it doesn't. When you know what to look for and where to look, you not only get the clarity, but you also get the relief that comes from having finally found the answer. Now, the second problem is that people are looking in the old traditional places, often for free information, not willing to invest in their education or business. So you're going to be getting wrong information or not enough of the right information that's going to get you to that breakthrough. So if you're somebody who spends a lot of time in these free information online, because let's face it, there's so much free information out there, without ever investing in business coaching, if you're building a business, then you could be feeling overwhelmed because you have so much information and you're working long hours trying to implement it all, but not getting the money coming in a meaningful way. And I want to show you some sobering statistics and maybe give you a little bit of a wake-up call that I had quite some time ago, and I'll tell you about that wake-up call in just a minute. Pre-GFC figures say that 50% of businesses globally fail in their first few years. Now, fail means they weren't making enough money to pay their bills. Post-GFC, the statistics rose to 80% of businesses failing. Now, I'm not saying that to discourage you, but to give you a wake-up call that there's obviously something missing in these 80% of business startups. Now, planning and experience are cited as the main reasons why businesses fail, and that's why you need to hire somebody else's strategic skills and experience to bridge that gap for you till you have the experience. It's what successful business owners do. They hire others to bridge that knowledge and experience gap. And in fact, this is the critical difference factor 73% of businesses implement that makes them succeed with increased profits. Now, several studies on return on investment for businesses hiring business coaches and mentors have found that 73% quadrupled their profits. And one study in the UK found that for every $1 invested in business coaching, it returned them $500. Now, that's a phenomenal return on your investment, wouldn't you agree? If you gave $1, would you like to get $500 back? And that's better than investing in the stock market, property, and even gold. And I found this 16-year-old kid, Gen Y, who's an investor and an author writing for entrepreneur.com. So that's a wow right there. And he wrote an article called The 3 Investments Entrepreneurs Need to Make in Themselves. And he says that the number one thing is invest in yourself. And he says that's the best investment that you can ever make. Now, he's got it at the age of 16, which is phenomenal. I have 3 business mentors at the moment, but I didn't in 2007. In fact, this was me. Off the back of creating a mission strategy that saved the billion-dollar industry from ruin in New Zealand, a feat that won me an award, and in 2008, had a big epiphany moment. I had a $250,000 organic day spa, and I was very, very stressed, like that girl in that picture with the phone and the pen in her mouth. That was me. I took on a partner and my business began to plummet really fast, and I was dealing with the news that I had cancer for the second time as well. I ended up taking the fall and going bankrupt, even though I just had 2 years of solid financial success. And I went, I save $1 billion industry from ruin, yet I go bankrupt. So I knew that I needed to get some education to make sure that it never happened again. So I was struggling to pay my bills, and I started going to all the free seminars, the online courses, free business courses, everything I could get my hands on, thinking that it was all going to get me one step closer to getting clear on my direction and building a new business. But it never made me any real money, and I ended up accumulating lots of information and bits of various puzzles. Never really got the whole picture. So this is because you just can't load. I mean, nobody can download all of their business experience in an hour or in a day. It's physically not possible. So I chased my tail for 3 years, thinking I was progressing because I was really busy. But really, I wasn't getting anywhere, and I was wondering, well, where are all the clients and why aren't I making any sales? Then I sat in a room with Raymond Aaron of Chicken Soup for the Soul, if you know that book series. And I heard him say how he was investing in coaches and mentors every step of the way because that's what successful, wealthy people do. They don't build their businesses alone. That's what working class people do. And the penny dropped. And I thought, well, if successful, wealthy people are getting there because they're actually hiring the knowledge and expertise of others, then that's what I need to do to succeed. Now, his program was $40K, and there was just no way I was ever going to be able to afford that at that stage in my life. So I walked out of the room so defeated and depressed, but I made a promise to myself that I would never ever be in that position ever again. And a year later, I was in another room with one of those free events, and I heard a speaker say the exact same thing as Raymond Aaron. And I thought, right, it's time for me to get serious about investing in myself and investing in my business. And I bought her coaching program. It cost me $5,000, and within 10 months following her blueprint, I made $100K. Now, not a bad return on investment. That was a big stretch for me, though, I have to be honest with you. I had to hustle so badly to get the money because I had no credit access, just right out of bankruptcy. So here's the important key, and I want you to write this down. I want you to write this down, particularly if you're struggling to get a breakthrough or get through some kind of financial glass ceiling right now. I learned that hustling to get the money to invest in myself and my business is what expanded my financial paradigm. And so I started to make more money. And I wouldn't have got there if I hadn't got that opportunity to expand that paradigm. Now, there were other people in the room who said, yeah, she's just saying that because she's about to sell a coaching program. And you know what? I met several of those people not so long ago, literally about a year and a half ago. And several years after that particular event, they're still in the exact same position, struggling with the exact same problems. And I'm going, that's really interesting. So I've learned that to succeed in business today, you simply must hire coaches, consultants, advisors, or experts that are going to bridge that knowledge gap for you, because it's not taught in schools. The real stuff isn't taught on the internet for free, right? So we've got to get the real experience from people that have got that real experience. And I had somebody ask me this question, well, how do you choose the right mentor? And it's a really important question, because I'm sure some of you have actually said, while I was saying all of that, you said to yourself, hang on a second, I did hire a business coach and it didn't get me anywhere. Well, that's common problem number 3. You're not getting the right guidance from the experts who share your values. So you're doing everything everyone else says to do, but not getting the big results. So perhaps you've even done a lot of courses and still not getting the results, and you're none clearer, possibly even more confused and frustrated. So that was Belinda Ortiz, for example. She was a relationship coach on a purpose, doing everything other coaches and programs were telling her to do, but not getting enough of the right clients. In fact, she even had conflict with some of her coaches over what she believed her niche was. They said she'd make more money in another niche, which happened to be really crowded, and she didn't want to be in that niche. So she got funneled into an old model of building her business with old information. So needless to say, she wasn't really fired up about what she was doing, and she was struggling after working at it for several years. So working through the social blueprint I'm going to expose to you today, we extracted the right information out of her. We tweaked her alignment, we rebranded and positioned according to the new information. And before the program had ended, she had several months booked of booked events well in advance, and someone else promoting her, and new ideal clients starting to flow in. So that meant she could take off and spend some time in India with her husband at a spiritual retreat. Now that's what can happen for you when you have the right information and you don't follow a cookie cutter system that's worked well for others but will never work for you, because it ignores your values and some core fundamentals that I'm going to be revealing to you in just a minute. And Belinda says that she says the same thing that so many of my new clients say to me: I wish I'd met you 3 years ago. It would have saved me a lot of time and money. So information then has the power to either make you or break you. And true clarity leads to power, which allows you to act powerfully to transform your situation into what it is that you want. And the best information that you can possibly get, in my experience, is the information that comes from deep within your soul's mission blueprint. That's the blueprint for your life and the best outcomes that we're all born with. Plus, you align that with business principles that adhere to the laws of nature, or the principles that govern our physical universe. Because they're universal, that means they're going to work 100% of the time, not 50% of the time, right? And they're going to work for 100% of the people. They're not determined by market trends, and they don't come and go. And I've incorporated these laws of nature into my social business blueprint. So it combines self-discovery with proven business building strategies, and that's why it's working so well, for the people that are going through that blueprint and applying it to their businesses. Now, the final problem I see to clarifying your purpose and direction is that you're either not taking the right action or you're not taking any action at all. And so the symptoms are that your work could be drying up, or you could be really feeling like you're stagnating, finding sales are slowing down, and confused about what direction to go in or what to do, and hoping time is going to change things for you, possibly reluctant to even take action in case it's the wrong action. That means every day is like Groundhog Day, because you're not doing anything that's making a significant thing that's making the breakthrough that you need.